like to fix things, so this was an easy fix. He came up from Georgia. He was a sharecropper down there, and started this when he was 61 years old. So, and had a, I guess like a religious awakening or something in Georgia. It was through the House of David was kind of a, well, I guess you'd call it a bit of a cult, and because he was never an official member, but his son was, and he took all of their beliefs and started using them in his philosophy that the end of the world would come, there'd be 144,000 survivors, they would live for 1,000 years. And he believed, you know, that the world was going to end, and at first he believed 1959, and then when that came and went, he decided his math was wrong, it's 1969, but he died in 65, so, and his wife died in 52. So they came here with very little money and started building this, I don't know if you'd say in secrecy, but they weren't telling anybody what they were doing when they started. And they were most of the way done before they finally spilled the beans of why they were building it, you know, to survive Armageddon and 1,000 years beyond. This is the first time I've ever done any tile work. That's real marble, and it's nearly perfect. Surprised me the first time. We had to do the pressure washing to knock the old paint and loose cement out and hit rock, and then we smoothed polyester reinforced concrete on there like plaster, and it'd go in the grooves we cut to get a real good anchor. And it's the only permanent solution to the low grade of concrete he used, because the concrete just fills the gaps in between the rocks. It doesn't actually bear any weight for the building. If you could take a ray gun and make all the cement disappear, the building would still stand there.
Nice.
He bought the property in '37 and started building in '38. That old White House out there was actually the first structure here. It was a Sears kit home. And it came on the back of a tractor trailer rig, just pieces of wood all cut to the right length, and you put it together like a model car. They say he didn't volunteer anything, so he wouldn't accost people on the street and say, "The world's ending, listen to me." Got in contact with his last surviving daughter just a couple years before she died, which was great. Got a lot of information. I didn't even know the name of the place when I bought it. Even that was wrong. So there was lots and lots of false information out, and I spent a lot of time digging through records and finding out the real history of the place. And I get people come up all the time. "As my granddaddy built this place." I'm like, "Really? What's his name?" He didn't. First I did this kitchen, and I had my friends over. I said, "What do you think?" I said, "It looks like my grandma's kitchen." I said, "Oh, really? Okay, great, fine." So I put all these weapons of death in here. "Now what do you think?" I said, "Now it looks like a demented grandma's kitchen, so you can't win." Yeah, of course he never had a will. Why would you need one if you're not going to die? So the family all fought over the estate, and meanwhile nobody was paying taxes, and it got foreclosed on by the county, and was sold to a woman who didn't do anything with it for 20 years. So it was just sat empty for 20 years and was overgrown with weeds, and drunken teenagers would throw beer bottles at passing cars, and the neighbors were all complaining, and it was kind of an eyesore. I've been on the open house, and people have driven by in cars and yell out the window, "Hey man, I got high in your house." So, that's a teenage party place, and there was graffiti all over the place. I even photographed all the graffiti before we covered it up, because even that's kind of part of the history, and carefully documented that. My favorite is smoke dope, raise hell, run naked. That's words to live by. Everything in here is stone. Got stone bowls and stone plates and stone everything in here. Stone cups. These are hard to find and expensive. I found the first one, and I was like, then I found some more, and now I'm on a quest to find more stone dinnerware. Well, I was sitting at the fire hall getting ready to build a house myself. I couldn't find one that I liked, so I was designing my own and was doing a stone house. Actually, I was doing half stone, half log cabin, but and then this came on the news. I was like, damn, that's a lot better than what I'm doing. I said, but I'm sure I can't afford it. And I drove out and looked at it and found I could afford it. And I was like, well, it must be about to collapse then. So I had some architects come out and look at it, and they said, no, it's way overbuilt. I said, you could put another castle just like this one on top of this one, and it could take the weight. So I was like, yeah. So I bought it, and never had a moment of buyer's regret. I've always been real happy with the place. When I bought the place, it took a while to get word out that this is not Party Central anymore. So I had to come out here and chase people off all the time, and some of them wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe that I was the owner. The daylight visitors are good, the after midnight ones are not. So it's completely different greeting, depending on the time of day you come. So.